Are you a relationship hopper? You go,
Probably.
from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next.
Well, does it mean if you're dating or does it mean if you're married? Because Jared, if he was married, I guess.
Yeah,
but
married hopper.
Okay, I'm
Marriage
just
hopper.
gonna roll with it. I'm gonna
Marriage
say could
hopper.
be either. I think it
Okay.
could be either. I mean,
I think
relationships.
typically it'd be a relationship because marriage and divorce is It takes a longer time than just saying, "I don't want to be with you anymore."
Yeah.
You get your toothbrush.
What I just realized is that relationships I typically call relationships when you're dating.
Yes, I
but
do
then
too.
marriage is marriage.
Right. I agree with that.
Right?
I don't think every story
But-
we have when we say relationship, we're talking about.
But dating.
Dating, yeah.
All right. Well, if you are. Yeah, so I guess maybe just dating in this case. But anyway, if you're going from one to the next to the next to the next, it might stem from your biggest fear, which is the fear of being alone.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The fear of solitude. And for some people, that fear can be the most overwhelming thing of all time. Like it's unfathomable to be alone ever.
Yeah.
That is a good. Jared, are you lonely right now?
No.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's with us.
What do you guys?
Well, yeah, I can. That is a fear of mine.
Yeah.
I don't like being alone, but it's weird because sometimes I like being alone as long as I'm not alone.
You like to be left alone. You don't want to be alone.
You want
Yeah.
Carol to get out of your face for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want some space.
You know, but
Yeah.
not all the time. Like
Right.
I can easily. It's a lot easier for me
Yeah.
to go. I can, without a doubt, to lunch by myself
Sure.
Yeah.
because I'm usually at a health food place.
No one wants to
Nobody,
Yeah,
go.
nobody wants to
Well,
go
now
with
you
you.
might. And
Yeah,
or
I
the
do.
movies I could go, although I don't like
Mhm.
sitting that long. I could go to. I went to a play before by myself.
Uh-huh.
I was in Vegas for a while by myself. No problem.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
However, if I'm alone, I start getting tremendous anxiety.
Like you don't have a
Mhm.
partner. You start feeling
Yes.
odd.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, that is the number one fear for people who go from relationship to relationship to relationship is that being single is simply not an option. They grapple with low self-esteem. People might perceive these individuals being in an intimate relationship as the sole meaning of life. And they also feel that it is the only reason that they have value, is
I
that I'm
can-
contributing to somebody else's.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or it just sucks to do things by yourself.
This
That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, not some things. Like, I'm not talking about when you're married and you want to be left alone. That's
Mhm.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It's more fun to do things with people.
Mm-hmm. It says that people who are afraid, like their biggest fear of being alone, might have childhood trauma or inconsistent parenting development. They have anxiety and insecure attachment styles.
Well, I mean, being alone is one thing, but like when you go somewhere, Jared, you can always take a friend or something like
Mhm.
that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's not-
No, yeah.
But that's still different. There's something about the backbone of it's like the overall situation you're in, knowing that, well, I'll be going home possibly to an empty house.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to be there. What am I going to do Saturday when all my friends are doing something with somebody else? And I don't have that dynamic. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that bothers me.
Yeah. You know, like if all your friends are, it's like something where people are going to be paired off and then it's just you. It's kind of a little bit awkward. You at least want to bring somebody.
Yeah.
Even if it is a guy friend, in my case, or Katie, if it's like,
Uh-huh.
if you were single, like a girlfriend go with you, like you just constantly being by yourself. I mean, yeah.
I don't suffer from. I really don't. I really do not. I mean, I always wanted to have a partner because
Right.
I knew I wanted to get married and have kids, and that's what I wanted for myself. But I spent a lot of years by myself, and it's just
She's desensitized.
no. I just don't have a problem with it. Like I really wish that in my days after college, or maybe during college, that I would have gone on a solo trip somewhere.
By like
Yes.
backpacking somewhere.
I've always had that wish. I didn't have the means.
Yeah.
I always had that wish to be able to go and do it, to prove I can do it.
Well, I will say that. Yeah, I mean,
just don't. I don't
that
know.
to me
I,
is
but
like, and that's my own thing. It's
Yeah.
like, it sounds like a nightmare.
see, and your thing about, and I'm not just
like, let's go.
yours.
I'm going to Italy by myself. It's like,
Yeah,
I think
I
things
love
like that
it.
you want to share the experience
Exactly.
with somebody.
But
that's
oh,
the thing.
wow, look at that. What do
Yeah.
you think about this?
You can share it, but it's like seeing and reflecting and having quiet time and doing the things that you want to do on your time and figuring things out. And then like you come home and you have the most incredible stories to share with
But that's
everyone.
that's the
Yeah.
issue I have. The biggest fear that I have is that, or the one thing I do all the time, even if I'm by myself, if I go somewhere
Mhm.
and something happens or something I feel interested in, the first thing I usually think about is, oh, I'm going to tell Carol.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm going to tell her. I don't think the opposite is true for her. But for me, if I'm
going to tell my friends.
Right.
Don't tell Jason. Don't tell what we did.
And then half the time, I don't even think that she even wants to hear what I have to say. But the first thing I do say, if I was somewhere and I was at a play, and maybe sometimes it's like, well, I wasn't there, so I'm not as interested. But when I saw the Jersey Boys in Vegas alone by myself and the story that happened, while that's happening, I'm in the back of my mind, I think, I can't wait to tell Carol what happened. I can't wait to tell her.
Well, now that you have Carol, so this is going to be hard for you to imagine it because you are in a marriage. But what about when you were just dating? I mean, did you ever think, because my first thought when I was not in a relationship, it was like, I can't wait to tell my family. I can't wait to tell my friends. I can't wait to, like that was my thought. Not like, oh God, I wish I could just tell a future partner. Like it wasn't.
No, but it got old.
They have so many stories.
I don't know. You're a lone squid.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to go somewhere by myself, like go to Italy by myself.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, for like a week
People
or two.
are just different.
That'd be
People are
great.
just different.
Yeah, I mean, Jared, people should know at the end of the day, all you have
is yourself.
Is yourself.
Oh,
So you gotta learn to enjoy
we
being
come
by
into the
yourself.
world to a family.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's designed to be around people. You work with people. You go to school with people.
But there's also
it's
something
more unusual to do things by yourself.
No, but there's something to be said for someone who can go and do the things because they know I'm okay sitting with my own thoughts. I'm okay being on my own. I'm okay providing for myself.
You're not. It's just it just seems like if you're going to spend all that money, you want to share with somebody. But I think it's cool people want to do that. But then also, what do they say about every serial killer? They were a loner. So I mean, if you want to go down that road, if you want to be a serial killer, no, it's not my thing. Everyone dribbles their ball
And I
differently.
do think there's a big difference of doing something by yourself, knowing you have somebody, a partner, but you're doing something by yourself, and I think is okay. But they do say it's one of the important aspects, and a good aspect is if you feel the need to share something that you experience with your partner. They say that's very healthy. So half of the relationship of mine is very healthy because I want to say. Now the reciprocal of that,
Yes.
wanting to know that information is not so great. But yeah,
They also say, Jason, to your point, they also say that it's very important to have your own sense of self in a relationship and
Right.
to be able to do those things on your own and to know
But you're talking
I'm
about two different
bringing
things now.
value. No, not.
you said
No.
in a relationship. I'm talking about in a relationship and doing something on your own, great, and feeling the need to want to share it, great. But I'm talking about not in a relationship and doing it, and you're not sharing anything because you're not in a relationship.
Okay, or in a relationship or not in a relationship, you should want to be an individual that brings value to other people
100%.
and yourself.
Yeah. But
I think most guys are an individual, and then they get married,
Mm,
and then it's
here we
like,
go.
oh, I don't know who. Then everything
Here
you've done,
we go.
Even though you survived your whole life, somehow, maybe barely, maybe barely, then all of a sudden it's like you don't know how to do anything.
You know what's interesting? You know, the opposite side of that is as a female and a wife is that you've survived your whole life, and yet you're like, where are my keys? Where's my wallet? How do I do this? What are we doing? Where are we going? Well, how do we do it? Where's my are you serious? You're a grown ass man. You're serious?
You're our help partner.
No, it's that goes both ways.
Wow.
That goes both ways.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But Katie, you were in like 2 very long-term relationships when you were single.
Yeah, I was
2 4-year
well,
relationships.
my
yeah.
college boyfriend.
Yeah, 4
and
years.
then my post college dating / hookup for
4 years.
4 years.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and during that like unsure time, there was no security there.
Right.
None.
Yeah.
I had to do stuff on my own excuse my computer. I had to do stuff on my own all the time. I had to be okay with
and
it.
I know I've been married to 2 different people.
You've been in a relationship
basically
most of your whole
most
life.
of my life. But then in between, though, like I did go on like lots of dates. So it wasn't like, oh, the first person that comes along. But the first person that I thought was great, then it was like I wanted to be with them.
But since you brought it up,
Yeah.
the fact that when those relationships were over, you immediately went into, I want to date
dating.
somebody.
Yes,
I want,
sure, yeah.
is like, I think a
Normal.
sign. No, well, maybe that
Yeah.
it's like you hop. It's
Well,
like
I mean, my
going
divorce attorney told me the day I was like distraught and things were crazy. Like I just so stressed out and I couldn't believe what was going on. Anyway, and the first thing they told me was, "Hey, have you moved out yet?" Or asked me, and I said, "No, not yet." And they said, "Oh, you can't date until you move out. We have to tell people right away because." And I'm like, really? That's the first. I mean, that's
I'm
the
sure.
most important thing for them to tell you is like, wait till you move out to start dating.
I bet you a
I was
lot of
like,
people.
I wasn't even thinking that way at the time.
Probably, and not saying that this is your situation, but I'm sure there are a lot of relationships that are already going on when they're getting divorced.
Sure.
And so they're like, hey, FYI,
Oh yeah.
don't be
Well,
dating,
they're just saying,
you know.
you know, when you're legally separated, it's the moment that you have your own residence and you can start dating. But I thought that was like the first thing they said. It wasn't like down the list. I was like, so obviously it's some priority for a lot of people that they get right into.
And it depends what
dating.
state. It depends what state. Like
Right,
in this
sure.
particular state, it's going to be the waiting is a year. You have to be separated and not living together for a year.
Which is stupid.
I think in some states, the reason why they do that is, I thought there were some stats that showed there's a higher chance of reconcile.
They say 13% of people who are separated, living apart, ever get back together.
13, but in the state that you have to wait a year, or does it matter?
Just in general. Just
I thought
divorce
there was a
stats.
higher stat of getting back together in states that have a waiting period, and that's why.
Oh, I think there should be some waiting period. I think a year's excessive. I think after like 6 months, you're all right.
Because you've already decided.
I don't think it should be like instant because you can get in a fight and be like, you head down there like,
Right.
yeah.
like you get married in one day,
Right, right.
right? That would be bad because I think I think a lot of people get divorced and they like regret it right away. But I think 6 months. I've been through it twice. A year is way too long. Way too long. My next one, I want to wait 3 months.
Hey, and if you're a relationship hopper, you're on your way.
Yeah.
So there it is. Another sign that you might be a relationship hopper, you think that relationships are cool, but commitment isn't. You just like going, experiencing new people. You like to go and move, like just bounce from one to the other. You have no intention of ever settling down. So just on to the next one. Because typically what happens is that when you find somebody that you mesh with, it's like, what are we?
And then,
And then you just bounce to
then
the
you
next
bounce.
one.
That's where I fall out of that category.
And then finally, another sign that you might be a relationship hopper, you are using relationships as stepping stones. Basically, you are going, it's quantity over quality, but you're looking for quality. And so it's like, oh, he or she doesn't have that next. He or she doesn't have that next, you know, which I think is a little bit like dating, but if you're doing it too quickly, you could maybe miss a great opportunity with somebody really awesome because they don't have that one thing.
And like you said, these
you
are
know?
relationship. Like you're technically in a relationship with somebody, and then you hop to the next one. It's not like you're on a dating website and your app, and then you're going on like 4 dates that week.
You're getting in relationship after relationship after relationship
Yeah.
after relationship. Yeah.
Squid, what are you?
I would say the part I kind of maybe relate to is the commitment part, maybe.
Yeah.
Are your eyes
Because I'm
open?
hesitant. Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm squinting to
Oh.
think.
Yeah. He's
yeah,
looking
It
into
takes
the
a lot.
wind.
It takes a lot for
Looking
him.
Like
anyway.
James Franco, he's high.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
go ahead.
I would. What was I saying?
That
Yeah, the commitment part. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm hesitant to, but I mean, I feel like every other aspect, I'm not a hopper. But I mean, I could maybe.
You've
see
been
it being a
solo for
thing.
quite a bit.
Yeah, I
And
guess
that's not
And you're
by
fine.
a couple years
No,
now.
I
Yeah,
think
and
he's okay with it.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Yeah,
You've
I
been
mean,
solo
I
for
enjoy
2
it.
years.
No,
Well,
so
not
you
2, like
said
a year
2.
and a half, maybe. Yeah.
You've had relationships.
Well, not like.
When was the last one?
I mean,
I think it's been anything official.
I mean, nothing. I mean, yeah. Well, there's. I always thought your example was like you can be in a relationship, but committing is a different thing, and that's been like what I've been. I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing the past, like I guess, year and a half. I mean, I'll meet someone and then I'm kind of hesitant to commit.
But you might
And-
be seeing the same person over and over, but you don't label
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's technically a form of a relationship.
yeah.
Even if it's
Yes.
FWB, that's just a form of a relationship.
That is what how it's stated. That's how it counts. Is that we're hanging out, doing whatever it is you're doing, and then when it turns to what are we doing? It's see ya.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like somebody else.
So it's a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, not you.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's right.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
Not you.
We should all follow the squid model of whatever he's doing.